At the end of Parshas Lech Lecha, right before the bris milah, right before the circumcision, Avraham is told that in addition to Yishmael, he's going to have another son, and he's going to name him Yitzchak. And then, in the very next parsha, beginning of Parshas Vayera, we have the story of the Malachim. The angels come to visit Avraham, and while he's there, Sarah hears the news that she's going to have a son. And the question that the Mefarshim struggle with or grapple with is, why didn't Avraham tell Sarah the news, the exciting news, about the fact that she would be giving birth to a son before the Malachim told her? There was an opportunity to do so. The Ramban makes two suggestions. Suggestion number one is that Avraham really wanted to share the news, but he felt that it was not appropriate for him to share the news. He received the news from Malachim. He received the news directly from Hashem. Sarah Imenu, who also was a Nevi in her own right, deserved to hear it from the source. And therefore, he decided intentionally to save it, to allow her to hear it from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The second suggestion of the Ramban is that Avraham really wanted to, but he was so busy. He was essentially in the OR the entire day. He was doing the bris milah, he was giving everyone circumcisions, his whole family, and then he was waiting outside, waiting for the Malachim to do the mitzvah of Hachnasas Orchim. It's not that he didn't want to, it's just that he became too overwhelmed, too busy with other things happening in the house, that he didn't have the opportunity. Both these ideas are helpful for us to understand or to combat the forces that criticize Avram as a bad communicator, as a poor communicator, as an ineffective communicator. He wanted to. There are times in life where things are sometimes beyond our control. We want to, we intend to do the right thing, and sometimes we can't. Or other times, we know how much we want to share the news, but we also recognize the importance of allowing someone to hear that news from a different source. It'll be more meaningful and more impactful that way. But most importantly of all is the desire and the want to do our best at communicating with our spouse. The biggest challenge we have is to communicate effectively. So yes, there are times like Avram where he might choose deliberately to withhold information in order that she can hear it from someone else, or where he's just simply too busy to communicate. But that means that Avram, despite all that, as a general rule, always went out of his way to over-communicate, to ensure that he and his wife were on the same page. And we as well. Husbands and wives, the most important part of a relationship is the communication. Keep everyone on the same page, express your love for each other, and plan and work together. When the lines of communication are open between husband and wife, that is truly the recipe for success. And then in those instances when a spouse may not communicate effectively one or two times, the other one will be understanding, and it will not lead to distrust, to friction or tension, because they know who you are at your core. May we all continue to be like Avram, effective communicators. And yes, in the instances when it may be beyond our control, or there may be mitigating circumstances to not communicate effectively, we have a model to learn from at all times.